the agenda for?
Just dumps water.
And-
on the
yeah.
ground floor, and it was
The name,
enough
please?
Water that where it was.
Vininsky, okay?
River stuff, that it was filling up with granite, so like, going.
Everybody ready? He just emailed you, one of the, for. Old- See. All right. Not a lot of people here. Okay. So maybe we'll get it done fast. Okay, so good evening, everyone. This is the Village of Biscayne Park, this is the Village of Biscayne, Park Planning and Design Review Advisory Board. Doesn't make any sense. Board Planning and Design Review, right? At the top of the agenda. It is Monday, April 17th. It is now, 2023. It is now 6:31. Do the roll call. Edward Leva.
Here.
Scarlett Hammonds.
Here.
David Gruen. Here. Gage Hartung, I'm here as well as Raphael from the Building Department. We have some residents and people on the agenda here, so we'll go ahead and, first off, I struck the minutes from March 20th, 2023. We actually approved them the last time. I just needed to sign them, so they were already been approved at our last meeting. So old business, Vininsky, 637 Northeast 119th for demolition. I believe this is the one we saw last time. It just was not on the agenda.
The drop box is about a fence, though.
Yes, sir.
There's another one. They're also under new business.
There's two Vininsky's in here?
Yeah, then it's.
I'm looking at the demolition one.
5A and then also.
Ah, sorry.
And was there a construction fence that was on top of that? Yeah. Is it separate or is it? But it's not on the agenda.
It is, yeah.
Oh, it's under,
At first, that's what I was looking at a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. So we also have 5A, 6A. And I think they're. Okay. All right, so let's, demolition, they were applying for a demolition permit.
Why is it under old business?
This is the one I think we came in, the guy was here last time, wasn't he? Yes. And he just was not on the agenda. So we said, get on the agenda for the next one. Because He's either.
I know, I recall the project for the review of the new, so this is just a
They
separate
wanna
new
tear it
demo.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Motion to approve.
Second.
okay, that's for the demolition. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Vininsky, building permits 637 Northeast on 19th Street. This is for a construction fence. It's around the front of the existing house, which isn't gonna be there in a minute, but,
Yeah.
is there any other fence around the rest of it that it's gonna be attaching to? There is an existing fence. Okay, all right. Any questions? I'll take a motion second.
Motion to approve.
Second.
David, Ed, aye.
Aye.
Okay, construction fence is approved. All right, then we also have Vininsky for old business discussion. 637 Northeast 119th Street, new construction, third preliminary review. Do we have plans to look at? He's not here yet? You need a second to come on? You need a second to sign in?
Why?
Hi, how are you? You're first up today. You don't have to wait all the way through. Yeah, I don't know if I read it in, but it's old, discussion B, Vininsky, 3637 Northeast 19th Street for new construction. Okay.
there any changes to these in the last time or no? No, I know, I recall the comments. Are the drawings any different? It's the same drawings. Same drawing.
So the Dropbox has it with no addition, no second story in the back. Is this the most current? Oh, I see. Then it, you scroll down further, it's just they pile up. On the top. Oh, no, not. Right. I printed out that 32. Yeah, on the front, 36. Want to discuss it? I mean, I think our comments from the last remain. So,
It's they were saying that this was overscale, the aesthetic of the house, especially this area, so the garage, because that. Explain to them that's going to, like,
Yeah.
high ceilings on the.
you haven't had a discussion with the client
You have.
prior to this
Yes.
report.
And-
It sounds like you're explaining to her the first time.
No, I'm explaining it to
Okay.
her in front of you, so,
Okay.
so you, we're on the same page.
Yes,
Got it.
so I have a really specific aesthetic I'm gonna go here. Specifically in the front bedroom, so we're gonna have double bunk beds with full stairs going up, so that's why. Yeah. Want, yeah,
In a room that's, and like,
I. Yes, yeah, it's like a comfort. I feel pretty confident. The second is the, and the third. What I wish I did, but it was during COVID and. One thing. But my townhouse in Coconut Grove is like this.
concerned about the scale of that. Hard time. We also don't even understand, like, I don't understand some of the, like, how your funnel goes. So you look at where the table of one of those groups, the land is something quarterly, so like. Just and the issue
Yeah,
there,
which is why we
the
have an
issue there,
Sure.
the issue there is not that can't figure out how to build it. The concern that what we're looking at.
There's not a floor plan.
Without a full set of drawings, you had more left. We're not here to decide how it's good, but see something that looks like there's a discrepancy, then I'm concerned, and it's gonna get built, it's gonna not to what we had. So. This is.
And I did talk to my engineer when you mentioned that. It was like everything.
It's not to the scale.
So,
Say this here, right?
This one, right?
Massive bulky. steel.
Yeah.
Again, this is that folding scale and.
Yeah.
Right? So
But. And then
this
this.
massive bulky cable, right? This one here.
Correct.
It's planned maybe based on the plan, somewhere.
Mhm.
So what I don't understand is no column, no bearing at all, there's nothing. So what's supporting this structure? If you're, these papers, right, they're going like this, what are they landing? Like, again, we're not here to find.
Oh, and
structural
that's
engineer,
where I hired.
but our concern is this gonna be what gets built? Because right now the floor plan doesn't really match feeling. That's it. And then the other comments were that decent size, 15 by 11 rooms. A walk-in closet, bathroom, another 15 by 11 room. and- Yeah, so to have a, 18 to here, 20, I don't know what the year, 24 feet from the ground floor. Standing at 24 foot high. And same with the garage, too, right? You have incredibly vaulted ceiling.
Yeah. No, but there is storage going up there, because I don't have room to put a shed on our property, so we're gonna do a hanging storage option.
So, you have a breakdown of the slot coverage? 'Cause it seems like.
It is,
You just split it in half and just told us what we want to hear. There's no
well,
breakdown of
no,
driveway, pool,
that's,
house. What
Well-
is this breakdown?
look at it, it's right there, reflector over there.
No, but what is it? So, I mean, how much is the driveway? How much is the pool? I mean, you just literally took the maximum number and divided it in half.
Trust me,
This
trust.
is what you're getting. I don't trust that. I don't-
No, no, no,
there's
no, no.
breakdown.
But it's, it,
We get a lot covered. That actual driveway is actually. The home.
The
The-
pool is
The
15.
hardscape. All that. together, total next to the- We just see like, don't worry.
I've never submitted anything like this, that. Based on the lot coverage.
Yeah.
Like, you look at his plans.
Yeah, but-
Dale's thing, you
This
have-
was,
you have
We
a
have a
box
sheet
that
on
has-
and this was never. So what are we doing? I mean, this is exactly, we went down to the square feet to meet the goal here. Trust me, I mean,
Where's that sheet at?
so,
There's a sheet that's on the sign.
Part of the application is also like.
Have a big thing part for everything.
You're gonna have to.
no, we went all over that, and this is, we redesigned a couple of the decks, even the door, we reduced it a little bit over here to have less deck. This jacuzzi was in the center, so we lowered the deck here, but this walkway used to be sideways, so we moved it, so we made it work. In other words, we made it work. So I know this is exactly the footprint of the house. There's no more, there's no less. And besides that, at the end of the construction, we will have a survey, and that would tell you exactly if we overdid it or not.
After it's already built.
We're not,
Well, I'm already doing a problem to demolish the housing and handle. and
That's not gonna
handle
happen. That's never gonna happen.
But I mean, like, we were. Well, I understand, but I'm saying that I'm not taking that risk. I'm not taking that, I know what it's involved. I'm not taking the risk. Well,
these plans are not the same as what was presented.
exactly.
These have been reduced to move it. No, that.
No,
these have been
this
reduced.
way, this way, and I show it to you. What I go over here on the back, we asked again for a floor plan, so I had a floor plan. In my opinion, that we're looking at the site plan and the elevation, that's the only, in this meeting, aesthetic. The site plan, because I wanted to correct the footprint of the house, so this was the one that it has the actual measurement, like I said, down to the foot. this is exactly what it would be.
And this, the sheet's not actually,
No, I don't. No, I'm not an engineer.
But I can tell you where they go.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So overall, it's this, I mean, are we doing it
Other than the
pending,
breakdown.
exactly, pending submitting the breakdown, or is there any other comments or anything that I would do as well?
So, you know, normally, yeah, we don't wanna, use sometimes, whatever the content is,
Yeah.
evaluate that in the context of other things, like reality, is that. So in this case, with the present scale, I feel like even adjusted. The eight, that's the only issue, now we actually work with that at all.
But if it were a two-story,
Shed
house,
or-
you would have it in the thing.
But it's not.
I'm asking the question because
I think
you
even if
have
we're not.
quite a few. But they're not
I
even
think
compared.
that it's actually the up. If it's three houses,
Right, but a lot of
Right.
it's, a lot of the interior design is based on how they place it. And, you know, I understand if we took it in the neighborhood, which is why we kept this design, the training of Spanish shop, which does it on exactly where, and all the ones on it.
General.
The general feel of the house is really what we're trying.
Modern. Scale, you have spaces that are foundation that. Way over the top. They don't need this.
We have a garage,
Yeah.
yes, that's going to have storage all up here. That's gonna be on the police system, so I need that
I
height.
have
to have-
a garage.
Yeah.
Before that means I 5 feet here, I'm meant to walk around. I don't know. But
No,
short.
it's not gonna be an
And it's
occupancy.
the entire overall elevation of the house there. Okay, so you can have. Number of floors of garage, now you can
I just don't quite
Up
understand.
to 20 feet.
My understanding was the purpose of the board was to help us figure out what is appropriate for the neighborhood and what we could do on the outside of the house. And what I decided to do on the inside of the house should be up to me. It's very inside. Right? I mean, that's right, but what I'm saying is, this makes sense based on what we're doing on the inside.
what, garage?
Quite a bit of stuff. My husband's a woodworker, he likes to do. It just feels like-
But you're trying to understand what you're doing, that's why it's here.
Yes, it looks this way because when I had my townhouse with that similar size garage, it wasn't that. When we moved it with me, we needed this. I had a shed in the back of my own house, which we won't have on this house. The 50%. So in order to give him the space he needs to saw all of that stuff and still fit my car in here, we need a good amount of storage up there.
Basically, that's what that story is not.
We're not building a second
Not
story,
detailed
we're
on.
building a pulley system to bring boxes up so that he can store all of this equipment. Which
But-
right now
but-
is in a 400 square foot shed that's in my backyard.
So like, for instance, if it's one floor, every floor, and bigger.
It's like a pulley system, like a,
Yeah, so if everything up there is floating, like, how and where does
Well,
it
the-
work?
no, he brings it down to work on it, we'll pull the car out, but in order to be able to park a car when there's a hurricane or you know, flooding with deep water, I need to put.
So then, so what we're saying is like, wouldn't it then make more sense to create like a landing at 8 feet and then you?
I don't
even have
want a
some-
second level, I don't want him up there, he's the this person. I want a pulley system that you can pull down and work in my garage when we don't do a car. That's what this is.
No, not yet.
We don't want to do it until this is approved, because this is the whole, you know, and I'm happy to, look, if you think that that's gonna happen, that's my price to pay, for sure. But I have a really specific fee for this, and we have 7 nieces and nephews that stay with us on a regular. I need a huge room with bunk beds for all of them. That's why I'm building this house. We have no children, this is our. No,
Well,
not
this,
what I'm
this this
building.
is what,
Not what I'm
what we
building.
were talking about. This is not a standard bunk bed. Well,
So if the
well, you'll
issue-
be surprised.
Whatever, it's fine. If the issue is that you think once we get to the next level that we'll come back, I'll take that on myself. That'll be my cost, obviously, of doing that, so I'm fine with that. But I am starting to feel the vision I have for this is being totally respected. And given that I want to buy more properties in this town, I really want to have a good relationship here and be on this board next year, so I'd like to find a way forward where this doesn't turn into, you know, where we are.
The question is this harmonious? And, you
Well,
know, like
there's
22
the
feet
huge
blank
McMansion that
wall.
just got built
What
up the
people like
street
wall.
that looks like a big gray concrete block. And someone here approved that and I'm not totally thrilled about that. No, and I hear you're,
That's fine, but
well, get lost, me, that's what
you're
happens.
not listening to us, and so,
I disagree with your ideas about what's happening on the interior of the home.
well, I think that is where you're trying to bring up some lot of stuff on the interior, but really obvious, but looking at the front facade, and how it is, how it is play with the rest of the houses around it, and, with the house harmonized with the around. it. So, I think
Yeah,
we're-
and we have shared these. Yeah, we've been through here before, for sure. $100%, why, so if I agree to 18, we'd be done with this conversation, like I'm trying to understand what level.
And that we don't think that's necessary at all. And that people should adjust that and get more harmonious, really back to what you're trying to accomplish.
And what is your idea of harmonious? What are the height that you would be comfortable with?
We don't say, okay, right? Come back, I'm not gonna talk, right? We'll tell you what. That's what you, finally, architect, you guys put together. Every other person will find some support. We don't define, we don't design support, we're letting you know. Right? At the end of the day, you're gonna get 4 votes, 3 votes, 2 votes, 1 vote, 0 votes. That's up to you.
Absolutely in line with the terms, you know, as far as the height, no.
Because we have to there and see.
Yeah, but, you're, yeah, but this is just, this is a wording, this is minimal, and besides, the floor plan, as far as I'm concerned, is not really what's at stake here, it's this element over here. I mean, this,
They're all covered. There are some that are more critical.
but this is called the design and review board, right? Not a structural, not a plumbing, not an electrical, not a, this is what this is the main trade. Right? We are. We went the other day about this, so this shouldn't, this shouldn't.
We didn't agree.
Is this the issue? This is not the issue. The issue is this, why are we deviating from the main?
Have greater importance, you know,
But you and I, we know this is mislabeled. We talked about it last time. Well, you know, it. We talked about it last time, right?
But the reason why I brought that up is no change or adjustment off.
So we know, but we know, and I stressed it, and this got reprinted somehow because this didn't change. So we didn't change it like the way we changed the site. So this is a mislabel, but it didn't affect the site, it didn't affect the structure of the layout, anything.
We also asked like.
And you have it, you do have it.
Have one thing.
No,
The same as on that. You're proof. You just proved the answer.
you never said, give me a breakdown.
Yeah, we did. And every single- every
No,
single
no, a
application,
breakdown,
There is a
If we
application.
wanted.
okay, no problem, No problem. That's not a problem. If we have to provide that, I will gladly provide it. That's not the problem here. We, you know, I know that this, and then if that's the issue, I'll provide it, but that's not what the main thing. The main thing is this. That's what we wanna get a common ground and move forward because, you know, in reality, we've been 4 or 5 months between this and I mean, thank God demolition got approved now, but we were stuck on the demolition pending this when in the first place shouldn't have been because the demolition and this have nothing to do.
Well, they do now. When you came the first.
Yeah, but
The laws
and been 4 months and we're still getting started with the demo. So
This one as well. Even if it's like,
I just wanna have, I wanna, definitely answer what is it that you're looking for? I know you can put you know, a height on the wall, but you have to tell me, look, if you go over 16, over 18, then that's appealing, yeah, or no, it's not. I mean, I know it's your, my opinion maybe doesn't, but this is a house, even with this height, it's in accordance with the Village of Biscayne Park, new built right behind her house. There's a huge house, that's out of place, that looks like a palace, and it was
Or
built.
the gray
Or
concrete monster up
this
here,
box that it was in modern is beautiful, I love it. I just don't know how it got built in here.
The gray monster has windows at the top, so that the facade actually looks like.
but we
Makes
have,
sense. It's
We
not
have-
just, not just 18 feet of.
Would you
blank
like
walls.
more, would you like larger windows?
that's what
Would that
Look,
change?
here's even my note from the last time. This is my
I-
intent from the last time. He said,
I know,
bring these lower roofs down and we probably would.
but that's why I brought them here, so they can talk to you and they explain better what the plan is with the house. Would you require larger windows? We're welcome to do that. We wanna meet whatever it is. If this is the issue that you think is halfway, we could have larger windows. That's not the issue. We could have a fixed panel here, or whatever. We could make it pretty if that's the case. I mean, the house itself, I think,
Yeah, what I've
Something.
heard as the explanation. 24 bedroom, one bedroom, garage. I unfortunately don't think those heights would be right over this. Right? So again, we don't care what you do inside out, but at the outside, we're asking questions about what's driving the elevation, driving the design. The answer has to be inside, talking about it, otherwise we don't care, right? But tell us, we really need that part of the house, the exterior, that height, if we need 24 foot ceiling for bunk bed.
I think
Doesn't care.
calling it a bunk bed might be a little
Or
bit.
whatever, imagine, you wanna put in there, that's a great place. Still only 24. Right? And if you do, and you really want it, then say, look, I really want some extra height, work with that too, and so maybe I can 24, maybe I can get away
look,
with 18.
If I
but
gave you the
can have
impression that I'm
a
not willing to work
9
with you, that isn't an accurate impression. I'm asking you what the reasonable point is, so that when I go back to the designer and rethink everything that I've already spent quite a bit of money figuring out for the inside,
Yeah.
what is reasonable?
But what I'm saying to you, if you're a comment, don't say anyone, make that 16 and you'll get approved next time. That's not how it works, right? So I think you've heard us, right? We're concerned about the height of this and it doesn't seem to have a logic driving it. We're concerned about the height of this and it doesn't seem to have a good logic driving it. So we're asking you, maybe take a look at those two volumes. Figure out a way that you can achieve the use that you want without any harm to the next thing over or the woodwork that you're done. But come back to something that we all feel like we some sort of sense of what that height is to evaluate. We don't want to tell you. Giving more consent. Those two volumes, site plan breakdown, what you're labeling something.
Or the side elevation for the side. On, this is the other side here. You have the side elevation.
we looked at that originally, we had that on one of the original reviews, and I think that, again, that there wasn't enough activity, and we put a door into the garage was what we agreed, that we put a door up the garage, split that up, so it wasn't just concept all across. So there is,
Just candidly also, you should know that I have a pool, so I'm putting a fence, back, so I'm not gonna have kids running to our house. So there will be limited visibility.
no, I don't.
But I think that was.
Well,
we put a door in, but we don't have anything that shows that we are, I think the concern was this blank wall on the other side.
I think it's on the floor.
So, like, for instance, my own thoughts, let's say the house is already done, right? So I would walk and I'll buy it or something like that. Just a regular, right? Something I would look at is sit there and say, okay, all of this space up here and all of this space up here seems like they started construction and then things got tight as far as budget for like, we're missing windows in the second floor.
This is true. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been 6 months of going through this. The budget is tight.
No, so what I would see is this height means there's second floors here, whether or not there actually are. But from the outside, every person walking their dog is gonna sit there and say, because of how tall this is, there's a second floor here, there's just no windows, which seems odd, right? So even if you sit there and say, yes, we absolutely need that height, if I was just a resident walking by and there were windows here, I would look at it and say, well, I don't care as a resident or someone, whether it's one floor house or whether it's a two floor house. If it visually looks like a complete house, not a house that ran out of funds and like building process, right? Then I personally, would be more okay with, okay, it is a really, really.
Like, this is the side that you were looking for.
Yeah. Okay, if that's the case, and you feel the need that for there to be an additional window, like I said, we're able to compromise. The areas that I find difficult is the functionality of that room. You know, climbing wall, the things that we want to do are unique and interesting for our house. And I've been waiting for 6 years to do this. That's my bedroom. Like, that's not exactly.
Put
the-
it on the back inside wall.
Even the garage, you want the fridge, because you're saying, oh man, we have no room for a shed.
We don't,
Fine, you're the one who bumped your.
but this is
lot
why
size.
we did this.
But this is your design, so you maxed out the lot, he didn't max out the
I'm
lot.
not
So
saying
say,
you maxed.
Shed, right? Usually tall, that was part of the design, we didn't,
Right.
like, it doesn't matter to us, but what the choice to be maxed out our percent, was your choice, the designer's choice, collectively your choice. So then you say,
Right.
well, that's why I need a double wide garage, well, maybe make your building. Right, and then you got room for it. Whatever, these are all choices you make, but when you're asking us to evaluate whether we find this all, we want to improve, we're gonna take all that into account, right?
Adding a window or big rosette or adding another, making this more of a window, so that even if it's a blank window into an attic, still from the front facade, it looks like you were saying, it looks like a two-story house, because conceivably it looked like,
To me, I'm much more okay with it being one story or whether I have a second. That's that's prerogative. If from the front of it, if it's the height of what we approve at two-story thing, it looks the way that it would be. If our code would say like, oh, yeah, we need to have windows for egress from the second floor bedroom, whatever. They don't need to be opening with it, but if there's a window on the front, I don't even care as much about the side, but like, so you could put climbing wall here, you could put climbing wall on the inside here, you could put climbing on the third wall, but if at least on the front, you make it so that there's a degree of harmony where it's like, okay, we didn't get tight on budget here, right? So it's, the house is finished the way that the original plan was.
So just, again, if I wanted to summarize, I don't think we're gonna secure this here. The concern is, I mean, again, that we've got a lot of empty space between the top of the windows and the bottom of the roof. There's a gap where it looks like there's space there that exists that isn't being, used, whether that's incorrect. So our solution really is, we need to meet somewhere in the middle of making these windows taller and making that roof shorter, or doing something with this space to make it look like it was designed with purpose from the outside and not just space.
Yeah, if you wanna leave it as a two-floor side, right? Yeah, just make it visual from the front. There's like, front side, visual front, look like it.
We do that.
And then I don't care if you put shutters on the inside and never.
I mean, we could have two nice windows over here, or just a larger one, and then,
Let's work it.
Yeah,
We do this, but
But
we could do that.
We need
If
to-
you have something.
so we just need to fill
this is
this.
gonna be the ugliest.
Yeah,
It's
but
gonna be all
let's-
storage and.
Yeah.
I really want a huge window. Okay, I get what
But-
you're saying. We'll take back the
Blank.
design.
But yeah, it could be blank. Again, it doesn't have to be according to, if I'm understanding you guys right, it doesn't have to be functional. It just has to give the impression that if you're walking by with your dog, it doesn't look like, yeah, it's really weird having that huge empty space
might be protecting your guys' retail value down the road, especially when you guys are decide that you don't wanna live in this house, like 50 years from now, right? But it would be very easy.
After this previous process, we're never moving again.
Yeah, but
Give
it
it
may
to
be
us.
something for you, you can go in a second floor there for a full permanent lock, that you now, it's easy for somebody else to.
It was only.
Okay, so just to, obviously, we got that part, we get, what was the other?
So the,
component?
one of the main things that we need the form filled out. to see if
We have
everything-
the thing, there's the form.
It's on Open Gov, so now everything's digital, yeah. Okay. You can also walk in and get a physical copy. You can integrate that
Okay.
with things like.
So the square footage form,
Yeah,
the
and
window
then,
situation, and what's the last one?
then we need like, for instance, all of this, this part and stuff.
And what?
We need to be the second story. So we also need like all of this stuff to be
Yes.
labeled properly, because you can't really approve something that says, oh, there's a guest house that's attached on here, put it as a bedroom. Then
It
we
is.
could say, okay,
Yeah.
right, this says porch, he was saying that this is kind of like a area for
Screen
cats
door.
or whatever. Just put it, really care about something you just can't like prove by.
I know.
Change
So the
link
word
back and
porch
look.
can't be on.
No, it was the guest house, but then the porch made the guest, made it feel like genuinely attached guest house. There's some things like put in the language, humans, right? Same use of you, less of an issue, approving something that shouldn't be allowed.
Because what happens is that something.
Oh, yeah, I approved the guest house, they're using it, renting out
Okay.
there.
No,
And then what was your issue with windows?
Wondering,
This,
so we have this huge blank wall back here that faces your neighbor. You know, and then also there's, I mean, this faces the back, which we're not so much concerned about, but I'm just
Is
wondering as an architect. Room not having. And it just has one window for each.
no, they're talking about this,
You're getting like the.
It's,
but this is open to below. I
there
explained to
is
them
a
they-
big window here.
That's the front on the side, there's this one here.
Yeah.
And,
because,
and it's really the neighbor house is like right here.
I don't really want to look at windows. I feel like they would appreciate the privacy as well. They have a full back.
especially because it's 2 stories, we don't want to.
Yeah, typically, yeah. You don't like.
Correct.
Longer, here, 100 foot long, like most people, I think, like wall.
Okay.
But yes, same reason, you don't want the window up there, that they can.
I don't
down,
want-
neighbors
yeah.
do that, that I- Yeah, stories, things like that.
Yeah.
So,
And for instance, like that. One thing that happens in this thing is when the sun isn't pointed in this direction, there's no natural light. coming, Right, so even if it's just a small, higher elevated above that height, which doesn't even really need to be there. Because that would be pretty much the height, right? You're coming up elevation to it, so I can't really see how. And then at least you guys will have cross light. What they would, what the seats.
So where,
What that would do is then we would have like, even if it is a clear story and it's towards the top part of the elevation, if I'm in the house next to it, and you have a 6-foot fence, I have a 6-foot fence, we have a shared fence. What I'm seeing is like, oh, okay, cool, like this is what a house looks like versus, the same thing as what a.
A round window in the middle of the staircase.
Okay.
And again, I think you might realize that, hey, that, I think my house is. It's still.
And the thought process for that is the issue we have with our offices now. as well. We didn't want to. Okay, we will take your comments.
so I just wanted to make sure we got the summary. So that side, the side window in this house, we need to address the masking in the front, dealing with the gap
Not this
between,
house, remember this bed.
yeah, this house.
It's on
So,
the record.
so this bedroom, the dealing with the gap between the top of the windows and the bottom of the roof on those 2 places on the garage and on the front. And then is
And then.
And
that
then one
is
square.
And the lot coverage.
the lock coverage. Okay.
table that you could sort of get breakdown. So right now you just have You're allowed to have 50% lot coverage, right? So you just have like about 10,000 lot coverage.
So
The pool is this much, house is this much, driveway is this much.
just see the math of how we calculate, got that.
Otherwise. You did.
No, that was a lot of negative.
Okay, so those three things.
And that's everything.
Driveway,
Anything that's touched.
Yeah, it's considered,
Anything that's not.
and then there's a very big laser.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay.
No, we're,
Yeah, so labeling that, so those four things. Okay.
the front, we added window.
Let's
Yeah.
have it separate like that. Yep.
You really like that open living room? You know,
Well, you know, There's still being traded.
Yeah.
Motion table to next, they had a question, Raphael?
I want to make sure that no one has to kind of.
Hey, how are you? You. Okay. This motion to table to the next meeting. It was
I motioned.
Ed and David. Okay, so some new people came in, so I just want to make sure everyone. Hey, okay. Oh,
By the way, it was discussion though. It doesn't need a motion.
Huh?
It was a discussion item.
we need to just move it to it. Yeah, I guess, but
Okay.
formality, let's move it.
Motion made it, moved it.
So. Sam Pendex, okay, but, so that's that. What about? Gentleman back there, you on the agenda, the name? More 6E, okay, and then you guys are for discussion, you're all the PPP, right? Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm gonna keep going down the agenda. I think I got everybody right. Old business B, Sam Pendinas. Okay. 741 Northeast 111th Street. This is for install new metal fence. Give us a second, please. You're just changing material. You're going from Durafence to metal? Or an exist? Okay, so it's a fence that we've already approved, 54-inch high? Okay. So it's just across the front at the corners of the building, 6 foot high. White.
The name is, Sapid Paparitas.
Old business B.
Second.
Okay, that's David, Scarlett, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. You're good, sir. Thank you. Okay, we have 5C annuity. 11355 Northeast 9th Court for a new driveway. Okay, so yeah, he's right here. So this is the driveway with the drains in front. This is what they emailed.
Yeah.
So basically, he worked with the building official to lay out he's gonna have an approach separate of the drain, not touching it. And then he's gonna have like a curved around, and it's not gonna have an exit on the other side. So it's just kind of is there your lot coverage by any chance? on this? So it was emailed to you.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying.
No, I have the,
it on.
I'm looking at the old one right now. We have a lot coverage calculation. Sure. Let's move this forward.
Motion to approve pending lot calculation.
So you have to submit, there's a form that has to be filled out that has the lot. And we don't see it in the file here that we were provided. Is it on the, he's looking it up right now? He's looking it up. Just give us a second, please.
No, it's definitely not in here.
Not in our box. No.
No.
Okay, so do you have, can you just show it to me? real quick? Do you have it there? No, I mean, show me the actual form. So if you just come real quick and look right here. So that's the form that's on the thing, the packet. No, keep going back up. There it is. You have to have the calculation.
He made me sign that one. I sent it to him and he said he sent.
Okay, he's checking.
Because I signed that.
So I had a motion to approve based on the lot coverage not being over 40%.
I second.
Okay, David Scarlett, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, we're approving it as amended. Let's see if the form is actually. Yeah, but you just have to, it has to be, can't be more than 40%,
No, I know.
what you're asking for.
Yeah,
There's the survey, but not it. Okay, so that's, you have another one, right? Okay, building F, annuity, 6F, 11325 Northeast 9th Court. This is for installation of new wood pergola. So this is going on an existing slab that's already there, correct? Okay, so lot coverage is already done. It's smack dab in the back in the middle. If you look at, I think it's the last page has the survey on it. So 10 by 14, like you're buying this, right? It's like a pre-made pergola. Now, building officials might have some comments for you because of how it's constructed to make sure it doesn't blow away. But as far as zoning goes, well, that's to you and the building official, you and Pedro get to talk that out. But as far as zoning goes, it's smack dab in the back.
Second.
Okay, David Ed, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Okay. You're good on that. So you just have to provide that form. They won't issue the permit until you provide that form filled out, so. Yeah. Okay. Can you just note that? Thanks. Okay. Building 6E, Lamore, 11011 Northeast 9th Court. That's for a new driveway. Give us 1 second. So it's like a concrete with the gaps, and what's gonna go inside between the gaps? Okay. So,
I think you were here before and then we approved like a renovation that prompted the driveway and you said you'd come back with the driveway.
what is this? Who? This one right here, annuity? Why is it not on here? Oh, they did, okay. Okay, so there was some lot calcs submitted.
For this item now or the past one?
For this one. It's 19 and 20% for the front. 14 by 55, 50 feet long, so you've got plenty of spaces there. Motion, David?
Second.
Ed, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay.
Just a note, like, is there a garage that's attached to it? Okay, I was just gonna say, like, based off of also your distance to the house.
Is this?
You have to go all the way up touching the house.
Is there-
You don't want to say, we basically look at it as, oh, okay, 14 + 6, you probably put 2 cars next to each other. right, and it's like 3.5 feet, right, it probably put two cars in the back. So if instead you only wanted to go to 25 or 30, you want to the light. Yeah, but if you want to, you could let us know.
I'm not taking, I don't sign it.
Say, hey, we're just creating a little bit more.
Put that with this Lamore. That's the copy you just gave me. Now, you had a second project. Is that on the agenda tonight? What's the name for that?
Another Lamore?
I have one Lamore.
What's the address? You know?
Do you have that on?
What was it for?
It's the other property.
A driveway?
Like, it didn't make the cutoff, so it's not on the agenda for tonight. So I guess it was submitted after this one. You need the address?
We add it?
What's the address? No, the second one. Yeah. So they don't have anything, the application is not uploaded onto the site. Or the driveway. Do you have a copy of the packet there in your hand? With the survey and everything? You're not showing it? You don't have it? So the, according to this, it did arrive after the cutoff, so. Yeah. But we can't, it's not on the agenda. We can't just add this. So, I mean, it's not holding up your construction then for, to come back in 2 weeks, is it?
We always look done together.
I mean, we can look at it, but we just can't vote on this because it's not public. And it's not on our agenda. But he's saying it came in after the cutoff time. That's why it did not make the agenda. I'm going back and forth here. So,
So let me ask you a question. They would start, I know we got told you that this is what it's gonna be done.
no, we approved it.
Now it's
No, we approved your permit, but said you would need to get a driveway permit.
correct.
Okay, but I think.
But yeah, your other permit, you didn't have to wait for this. It was more like, please come back with it, but. Yeah. I mean, assuming assuming building approved it. I don't know if they had other comments after. We're just the first step in the process, but if. Yeah, no, I think we just wanted to make sure you did, but I don't think we made it contingent on
No, it
you.
was, I think it wasn't pending. It was saying that we couldn't, you weren't gonna get your final CO without a driveway permit. I mean, you basically,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
so it should not have held up anything else.
His master should not have been held up is the point, right? Because you can start work on your master and come back for your window permit or your driveway or whatever at some point when needed, but. It shouldn't have been. If the issue is that your main construction is being held up by this, that can be resolved, I'm sure, at the building department, because that wasn't our intent. And if that buys you more time to now come back in 2 weeks for the other driveway without.
Well, it's already submitted, so it will be on the next agenda.
No, I'm saying, but the hardship to him that he couldn't get it approved tonight because it's holding up his master, but that shouldn't be the case. Your master should get released. So you can start working on the other stuff and then
So you
Come-
just make a motion to,
a motion for.
I
what?
mean, we've already approved it, but my point is that release it, release the master.
Yeah, if it's, yeah, it's a matter, maybe Gage, you have to email Pedro to say this wasn't the intent to not hold it up.
Right, yeah. But that was not the intent of our thing was, our intent was that you need to get a driveway permit, but
Yeah.
in order, you can move forward with your construction permit. Yeah. So release the permit. But he's.
Just like any other new construction permit, they have to come back for other sub permits, but we don't hold up their master over it. Sorry about that.
So we just approved the one. The next one will be on the next agenda. 2 weeks from today. Yeah, so.
Yeah, what I would do is call.
Well, he can.
Yeah, I would go bang on the door and say, hey, we were told last night at P and Z or P and DRB that my master should not be held up over the driveway, so please release my master. And say Gage Hartung said so if he needs a.
Please.
See?
Mhm. Okay, but that wasn't the intent, so. You're good. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Next on the list would be Formaggio. 11412 Northeast 8th Court, new swimming pool. Okay, just for a second, please. So it's in the back. Big pool. Setbacks are,
15-6.
what are the
17-4,
what are the rear setbacks?
15-6.
Must be looking at a different
Page 10 of 24.
10. Oh, there it is. Okay, 15.6, 17.4, and then just lot coverage. You're at 36 still with the pool, correct? Yep. Any questions on the board?
Motion to approve.
Ed,
Second.
Scarlett, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, you're good. Thank you, sir. Okay. Okay, everyone else is here for discussion, correct? Okay. Discussion, hey, HQH Biscayne Park LLC, 824 Northeast 111th Street, new construction, third review. Okay. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
You have the
Why
plan
I'm
for
saying it. I didn't see you on your birthday, so I'm telling you now. We actually, if you, I assume you watched the last YouTube from last, so we sang.
Is that what you assume?
Read all the kids.
Basically, I believe there were like two additional comments that you, gave us, and we go with it. And of course, some additional, additional points. So, okay, the next one.
comments? You have a comment?
First comment was the flood.
you're starting at 9.75. It's where you at? It's minimum, what is the existing lot right now? Where,
Are you talking about existing?
it's 7 feet, it's 7 feet, so the new house is gonna be 2.75 feet higher than the lot. Okay, so you're doing it up to. So it's 7 plus 1 is 8. So and you're gonna be at 9.75? You okay with that?
Average grade.
The doors are substantial.
Yeah, out the side, please.
Okay, the next one, I believe, was the height of the parapets.
The overall height. So you took them down to 3.26? Which reduces the height of the structure to 27.
I think that's a little bit too thick. So why would you consider that the parapet? The course of block, but it didn't actually reduce the size of the house. I think they just made it consistent. They didn't, they choose the highest one and match all of that.
The idea was to get the house.
That wasn't the
down a
goal
little,
of that
was to get the house down.
Yeah, is it possible that it's been a bad exercise, you guys do?
No, that was great. It makes it all consistently 8 inches. That was what we had said.
But it was, but it was, but
If it's like cinder block, like things. Whatever. Then they used to do it, the whole thing.
And even here, actually, you didn't do it, right? So I don't know what you did actually. You have a 3-foot parapet here, a 3'4" parapet, so you didn't do that. So you still have all the same parapet heights you had before. Why are they all clouded? What actually changed? Do you have the old set of drawings? Well, they just weren't late dimensioned, but they didn't actually change them. Yeah, I think you guys missed the objective of that.
Because the objective of the something we did.
The difference is-
Totally different address.
I think the idea was the lesson.
Identical homes.
No.
Don't need another one of those.
I mean, they added the windows, they built up the lines. I mean, it would be nice to have the roof just 25 feet instead of 27 feet. I think that was the intent, was like, you just make the house a little smaller, blends in a little more.
I'll take it, right? Turn it down.
Whether or not-
The other ones that we read were like a tree survey of the property, set the location of the tree stand park.
Yeah, my only thought is
Otherwise.
You
think that this is like
you recommended 18.
Yeah, and I think 1 foot's not gonna get us on your slope of your roof and then your 8-inch splash rate and all that. And everywhere, right? Here, it's I was gonna say, here, 3'4", right? So brought them all down to 8 inches. What are these right here?
Oh, those are lights.
That's your front end.
The latest, this is latest. Again, you remove the.
I think they just added dimensions. So like,
Put some dimension lines on it. Cloud it.
Again, this is like, all of this is like in. But of course, you know, we first visible liberty, trophy, more or less, we did with the first house, and it's kind of, you know, more,
What is that? Is that?
it's,
this
it's more,
house?
it's more like, yeah, it's like just a clean rendering without all the. limitations. Yeah, and some scale. That's the back.
And I think we have the same problem, maybe we have the same comment on this, Lucy. All the downlights, we've had it on other cases where you don't want to overlight the house. It's gonna be darker, you know, so,
Because I don't know. if we
So
know
do you
this
really need-
before all the.
yeah, were this lighting here before? I don't remember seeing it.
Discreet, and that's more like security, you get it. That's not really security. The owner, that's just creating. Light here, so you can look at the surface. Yeah, make sure.
I mean, they're even on the sides facing the neighbor. Is this under each
Yeah,
one of the
like,
windows?
For sure, it's not needed on.
Is it under each?
Second floor on the side, right?
Yeah, I would ask that we can.
I don't even. I wanted to see the tree plan, because they did the tree plan.
I think it's under the, oh,
Well, let's see the tree. So,
the existing.
yeah. Sorry, I'm not touching it. You guys are not touching one.
It's in there. Remember they were taking,
Yeah,
they were
there was a
taking that
big
big tree down, that big old oak tree.
So.
So
what
that's
happened?
existing, that's existing.
Anything that's like in the, that's green in the air. Here, right?
So number 9 is coming out.
Yeah, it's just. a-
K, number
the Drawing
K.
up there, it looks like the real mitigation plan, and that has nothing. It's a piece of. So which one's going to count as that plan?
The one here. Well, this is, but this is the, this is not, but this is not the, this is not the new house.
No, but if I give this to the county and it says, Marks, remain. Not that. I don't know what the.
And again, that's something that I.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tree survey has a chart that says.
Keep it on.
Status is all remain, and then you come to these plans and like 50% remain.
We'll work it on with them. So then to update that.
This one shows.
Yeah, no, that one is that.
You can take our comment on moving the pool. Say that through.
Okay, so it was the flood elevation, it was.
Windows, the eyebrow lights, parapets. Well, these are our new comments.
Well, flood elevation is good, right?
Yeah.
So now it's really, we're right in the.
So this is their third. You want to move it over to the approval? Is it the third? With those.
If you come back next time, hopefully some of those are addressed and.
That's gonna be on the agenda for 2 weeks.
We are included in the budget.
Because we are not approved for that.
Not let anything happen.
Okay, so that means, we need to address these real comments and. So, so basically, to, go over, it, we need to probably look at the clarification, and then let it all to them. Tree survey, we probably need to update that. to the- And the lights and the second floor.
Thank you. David and Ed.
David and Ed?
Right?
Yeah.
Technically, both sentences were correct. Call myself Ed, which I never do, but.
So Beninsky, we moved to move tabled. We just tabled it. So PRBP @3 LLC. 1002 Northeast 117th Street, new constructions. Hold on. Aren't you already building this? No, 1002 Northeast. Oh, I'm going the other direction. Okay. I'm like, what? 1002 Northeast 117th Street, new construction, second preliminary.
When was the first review? Because I haven't seen you in ages.
Do you have any plans?
A while ago.
Okay. How's the construction going on the new one? Doing foundation now? Have you poured it yet or? We did see this before, because this looks like the one here. Here. Looks like a mate of it, or similar to it. Yeah. The cousin. Okay.
We see a pattern here. We're getting a lot of our local neighborhood developers that are just rehashing the same design over and over.
Okay, so,
I mean, it's literally three parties right in front of us, three different companies, three different developers that have,
Huh.
no, that are doing multiple projects that are just the same design with, well, that's what we care about, right? With moderate tweaks to just say, well, it's not the same.
One of you just needs to develop an app where you can just like crowdsource and just swap playing cards. So like you're doing the cool stuff in Austin and the guys in San Francisco are taking your stuff and yeah.
I mean, to your question, that modern architect, I could take his project, which is modern, and your project. They don't look anything like each other. But two of yours look identical and two of his look identical, right? So it's not that it's modern architecture. There's,
Yeah, that doesn't, yeah.
okay, so.
I mean, I'm being, kind of facetious about it, but I think it's a problem that the village needs to address, right?
All right, so the one you're applying for, it's 17 feet high in the middle. The outer ones are 13 feet high. So, and, yeah, and, there's site plans. Here, according to the elevations, you have a 10-foot setback. Oh, no, that's windows. 33 feet. And 10 feet to the pool. And 10, your lot coverage is what? Probably one of the forms. This one here. Yeah. On the upper right of the drawings. Let me know if anybody finds the lot coverage schedule.
The one other thing that I would say is they don't on, so far on none of the pages do I see the driveway actually going out to the street. The driveway seems to stop at the property line on every drawing, which I'm not sure if that's just because of the way they did the drawings or if that means that the lot calculation should be on like correct.
Oh, here it is. Okay, so it's on page SP-1.
What's that on the PDF?
It's on page. Where is this on?
I mean, even the interior is similar to your other one,
Um,
like the floor plan layout.
let's see a page number. Let me see a page.
That's the top.
Page. Kind of about halfway down. It's the one with the showing it on the lot.
Yeah, I found it. Sorry.
Okay.
It's page 15 of the PDF.
So, and that's
10,000.
one of the ones that I was saying is like,
Yeah.
so on no page, does the driveway go out to the street? Which I think means that then the calculations are probably off as
Probably-
well.
But the driveway would be not on their property. It's in the right of way.
Yeah, that's probably.
It's not part of their calculation, that calculation.
I'm not saying that it's part of the calculate, but like, I'm just saying there's none of their pages like illustrates going to that. So I don't know if that's something that we say like, hey, you need to make
Yeah,
sure
no.
that.
No,
Yeah.
sorry, the comment for the next one is that you have to show the driveway out to the street. Thank you. I mean, you're at 30, hold on.
We have 10-5.
Yeah, but where are you at as far as everything with the pool? Where's the break? Huh?
Ooh.
4.9. Oh, here it is. 3,300 square foot house, garage, 475, pool, 1,000. I don't see a driveway. I don't see walkways. Total area under AC, 4,980, which, okay, but again, all the other peripheral lot coverage stuff needs to be on here. And it still has to stay within the 5,250.
They also don't have any like AC units or anything like that, pool equipment.
Where are you locating it all? Like pick a side, basically.
But what I'm reading, the impervious is way over. We've got 50, they're only like 40.
So the lot is 10,500 square feet. Okay, even though it's in an 8,500 square foot zone, it's in a 10,500 square feet. Maximum impervious coverage, 50.3%. Oh, that's building, swimming, terrace, and driveway. Oh, that's okay. So you are over, actually. Charlotte, good catch. You're 0.3% over. Your lot.
Yeah, and it's lot coverage. Forget the impervious pervious thing, which is misleading, lot coverage.
You need to shave off a couple feet. Yeah. Okay, but it's interesting because it's swimming pool terrace, 1,057. Does that include the pool? Does that include the pool? That's okay.
Oh, I think that's the hardscape around the pool.
It's not the actual pool itself?
Based on 1,057 square feet, I don't think so. All of that.
So we need to tighten up your lot calculation. Design wise, I mean, it's 1 story, higher in the middle. I don't think there's an issue with the design.
Your garage open on the side, like with a louvered wall, but there's a door in the front? Oh, it's just an open carport type deal. Covered parking, not carport, but gotcha.
But it says roll up door.
But don't, but ignore that, Gage.
Oh.
That's not,
The engineer.
I mean, do you think as a resellable house, you would sell something that doesn't have a garage with a door on it? Wouldn't that be kind of a perk? For people to secure their cars and things like that? Because the first thing they're gonna do is come in for a permit to put a garage door in.
Garage.
well, but they'll also be building a wall on the side because it's an open, like louvered wall on the side.
Is it? With carports? Okay, I mean, it's your design, just making a comment.
for this 5,000. And these are not really germane to the zoning comments, but in the roof in the center, that's a skylight, or what is that? Like, you have like a cutout over that planter on the inside. Yes, what? It's a skylight. Yeah. That's an expensive custom skylight, right? Because that shape is not a prefabricated off the shelf skylight. It's a big, long trapezoid shape you have there, right?
What they needed for the other house.
I'm just curious, like, it seems like probably won't end up in the final project, I'm guessing, because it's gonna get beat out at some point.
Again,
Value
that's
engineered out.
zoning wise, not,
Yeah, that's just talking about the design.
the front. Go down to the Grove and drive around. Uh-huh. You can't find your own house in the Grove, because they don't know which one it is. But, no, but I mean, the design, I mean, it's a very interesting story, I mean, yeah. I mean, so you're doing this that's the other thing too, is we're requesting, what is your finished floors at 2 foot off of grade, or off of what? But are you doing it 2 feet off of base flood elevation, or 2 feet off the existing ground? Okay, and what is base flood for this zone? So we're gonna need to know that actually. And where you're gonna be at based on base flood. Because if you're doing like base flood plus 2 feet, then that's. We need to just know that. I mean,
Is there a tree survey?
and the tree survey, yeah, that's a good one.
In what, next 6 months? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the first one got the blood on it. That's why you saw him go and drop the AC. He was already up to, yeah, he was up to.
So you're dealing with some code issues on this house?
What, that, yeah, that.
Which one?
Every time that we've interacted with that guy, then that's. He
Oh,
comes
yeah.
back and acts like we didn't have a prior conversation.
Is it like deteriorating or something? Okay, so, I mean, I hate to encourage tearing down and leaving blank lots, but you're actually going in for a permit to building a new house, so you have the right to apply for a demolition permit. So is it gonna change, is it gonna cost more to secure the house now than to tear it down? I mean, I don't know if you have your funding in place or what, but I'm just saying. Well, you're making your own case here. I'm just saying, you actually. Yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to tell you, is that you're.
We don't get to decide
You
anything.
actually can apply for a demolition permit at this point. And put it in a construction fence permit, or a temporary construction fence, and.
The rules have changed.
The rules have changed a little bit, so you can actually.
Yeah, previously you couldn't obtain a demo permit without an approved
Yeah, it's not a rule.
change in the
law.
past few months, right?
Yeah, the
Law change.
law very recently changed.
Yeah.
So we have to,
Well, remember, you're not tearing it all the way down. So don't go crazy and tear it. But then you're gonna end up with a house with half a wall.
Yeah. The state law changed recently, so we
Are you being
can't,
cited for
can't
that?
require that anymore.
But it does require if you demo, like you have to like green space it if you're not going to fence it in. Like, so you, yeah, you have to make sure that it's like, looks like a yard or something. Cause otherwise you.
What type of fence?
You're in compliance, but you, with us, but you get code enforcement. on it.
If you can't really apply for a construction fence unless you have some kind of active permit, like a demo permit or a construction permit. You can't just have a construction fence and then not have anything happening. Okay. No, but that's an approved permit. It's been approved by this board. So yes, on Seventh Avenue, you can apply for a construction fence. Yes. Yes,
Oh, cause for that part, we haven't approved any permit yet, right? Unless.
there's
we-
nothing.
Unless we approve a demo permit down the road.
But can you also apply for demo permit and the construction fence and just don't do the demo right now? You have 6 months. Code enforcement. So they're saying if you've applied for it, they'll forgive the $250 a day. Huh? So whoever does your permit applications, I would say go home tonight and have them submit a permit application for a demo. And that you could say that we submitted a permit on the 17th of April. So that's, we're trying to come in compliance. It won't come into us until for 2 weeks. But at least you have you have it down that you applied for it on this day. Yeah, and that way it should stop your fines. And then you come in front of us for.
She sent it to you on Friday, you didn't sign it on Friday? Do you not like money?
So, but the same thing with Seventh Avenue, apply for the demo, apply for the, I mean, you can apply for you already have the construction permit. You can apply for the demo permit. You can apply for the fence permit. But I would just, remember, don't knock down those walls by accident, because then you're kind of out of compliance of what we talked about. So submit away, see us in 2 weeks. Or at least for the construction fences and stuff. Okay, thank you. Yep. So we're just moving this to third preliminary review. All right, 7B Bordonia Otero, 1008 Northeast on 14th Street, new construction. Okay, there, please.
Yeah, I was at every time. I don't play, between 1 and 2. Punch the black wall side. Yeah, you added users. Yeah. Yeah, well, we got these two, like what's the white stuff of. Brown texture. I can see it. Yeah, that's my two, yeah, but it's all. We got two lights here, and we got two lights there. Facing down, and two up here. And then for the room, it's got three,
Yeah. Motion to move to your agenda.
Okay.
LM.
Yeah, so now, yeah, now we can motion to. Oh. Well.
Fourteenth Street is approved. Okay, so now we're gonna look at. What's this one, what's the title number?
This is, Dev three.
Three, okay. This is for 1065 Northeast 119th Street, another third review.
Yes. So, all these are all pretty much, regular, garage door. So we come out with the, natural, stone and block out in the front. And the back, just the back.
Right. Yeah, same, all these, the other way.
Right.
Back.
Back over, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What's up, what's up?
No, because this house is supposed to have the garage on the right, the other one has the garage on the left. Correct. So this is showing the garage. Left. This one is, this one's 2 stories on the right, that one's 2 stories on the right. Yeah.
The rear, so the 2 stories on. the- Both have a garage.
Yeah, we had it.
What is
So
the-
we can't, vote into- we can't.
But it was correct the last time.
Yeah. No, this one is right, yeah, this one is supposed to, but
This one, this left, that. was right. Yeah, okay, this is correct. This one's correct.
Yeah. no,
Nice
that's-
rendering.
that-
It does, right? Garage on the left,
Yeah.
okay.
This
So
is all
here you have
white.
some
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah.
But over this one, not so much. This was supposed to be inverted. Yeah. Okay, so something happened.
Now, are we okay with the house if it was the correct? Flip?
Yeah.
Can you-
fix everything? Can you check on the submittals, maybe those are right?
You look at, 105.
I printed this myself on the last time,
Maybe you screwed up, not Jose.
maybe I did, yeah.
If that's what happens, you have to apologize.
This is, what's the address for this one?
1065 North and Sun.
It's 17.
Okay, let's see. The garage should be on which side? On the right? No. Matter of fact, this one,
But the plan actually shows the garage on the right hand side.
yeah, but matter of fact, this one even has like horizontal loop, doesn't have anything matching what you have on that table.
Which one?
Unless this is like old and new drawing in here, but.
No.
So what we got in the Dropbox, this is the front elevation. Which is not anything. Yeah. But. Well, look, I think everything else is sound, so if that one you want to just resubmit for next hearing, you don't have to come,
But it's the floor plan is incorrect. The site plan. Right.
yeah, just get it cleaned up and
Put it on the garage on the right, garage on the left.
Yeah, but like for the next one, do we need to motion so that it'll be an action item or just on the basis for the next one? It goes as.
And so that's the correct one.
Yeah.
Pretty much approved. But it's passed. It's corrected plans. Yeah. So motion to.
Second.
Yeah, I.
One for two.
Yep. Right.
Okay, we'll see you. May first. What? May first. Yes.
Just let me know what you think about that. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you, sir. Okay, so. Huh? Well, we have a resident here, so do we want to jump to discussion item, or what is the board feel like doing? We do have a lot of things on our agenda still. before you want to clean up the agenda?
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather breeze through the other items and get them closed, right, and get them out of here.
All right, I have the minutes from April 3rd, 2023. By the way, just as a comment, since we're reviewing it, the house with the deck,
Mm-hmm.
they were closing on, this past Friday. This Friday.
Yeah.
So the
I-
entire thing was a sale. It had nothing, I
Yeah,
don't know why they thought they were actually gonna get a variance for something they had to close on this end of this week.
I was fairly convinced that was what was happening because I saw like a couple weeks ago, a giant, or 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, a giant thing that said inspection, like the inspection guy. And there was like very clearly like the new buyers out front. But figured I couldn't bring that into our conversation
Yeah.
of like,
But I'm,
oh, there was demo and construction guys there today.
but the thing is they don't have a permit for the deck.
Yeah.
I know, but they still don't have a permit for the deck.
Yeah, they have no permit to do construction because they got denied by us.
But
But
they're,
the part that they're keeping still has no permit.
well, who knows
Unless
what they're
completely
keeping.
removing it from up to
removed it.
everything, up to the door.
Yeah, the only thing,
So they completely removed the deck.
There was a big demo truck there today and they were working outside the whole time.
A lot of wood.
Yeah.
What a waste.
Yeah, it's sad. It was.
And curious what they're doing because they did have two sets of double door French doors that went out to that deck that are like 4 feet in the air. So they need to have steps come down out of those doors.
Or fiber.
Which they're not gonna get permits.
Yeah.
Well, but they're selling it.
yeah, but also code goes in. They can also.
Yeah. Code or the building official? Code is doing reoccupancy inspections now? They understand how to, I mean, that's a building issue. It's not a code enforcement issue, but like historically, our building official did reoccupancy inspections, right? All right, we'll see what happens.
Anyway, but also I happened to see the for sale thing and they're marketing it with a pool in the front yard.
I know.
Can I ask, does anyone, on a serious note though,
I told the real estate agent that's not gonna happen. When I went to the open house.
why is code doing that? I really would like to know. Because code has enough on their hands that they're not enforcing that they should be because they're understaffed. Why are they doing reoccupancy inspections too? Why isn't our building official doing that? And who makes that decision? The village manager, the clerk? Oh, because I genuinely feel frustrated that code doesn't enforce the code enough. And I feel like they're understaffed and that's why they don't. And now they're being tasked with things that really shouldn't be their responsibility. It's not you don't make the decision, I understand,
But you're making a good point. I mean,
it's something to be discussed.
don't get everywhere, but we don't have, but it was a building official.
Building official, I mean, he's,
Skip did it before, you know, he was doing it, so I don't know. Why what's the new guy now, Chip? Pedro, I'm sorry. All right, April 3rd looks good. Any comments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
David Scarlett, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, so. Next, building B, Romulus Lake, 926 Northeast 109th Street, installation 2 entrance impact doors. By the way, just to clarify, we are the Planning and Design Review Board. Board, not Board Planning and Design Review Advisory. And actually make sure the minutes, where the minutes that is, do they see that on there? Retitled correctly. Yeah, that's it. That's the way we are. Read the board. Okay. Okay. So it's two steel doors, one on the front, one on the back,
Motion to approve?
or side.
Second,
Ed Scarlett, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, building C, Chowdhury, 931 Northeast 116th Street, installation impact windows and door.
Looks like it's only rear for some reason. Well, rear and one side.
White frame, clear glass, no grid.
But why would they do 50% of the house?
Maybe
But hold
they
on, I'm-
did the other 50.
Why do you say it's only, it's
Well, looking at
nothing
the,
in the back,
it's the back and the side
nothing in the front?
or the other side.
Okay, so. Maybe they did the front, you know, when they
Yeah,
had the money to
maybe.
do the front
Okay.
or something.
Motion to approve?
second,
David Scarlett, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next, Kuhl, 777 Northeast 111th Street, repair mortar tile roof. So just a repair and.
Very small.
And a roof repairs only. Leak in the front or in the back? Yes, that's the back of the house.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those things that maybe could have even been like an emergency.
I mean, if it is emergency, we've done that before, but you technically, I guess it has to come.
But if it's
Spanish
like-
S grade 1 tile.
No, I'm just saying because it seems like it's a fix versus a replacement.
Yeah, I mean, if that drawing is accurate, it's like this big of an area on like the eave on one side.
Yeah,
Probably
but you
didn't.
know, you just want to do it the right
Yep.
way, so give him a snap.
Motion to approve?
David, Ed, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Uh, 6G, 11643 Biscayne Park LLC, 11643 Northeast 11th Place, re-roofing low sloped roof.
I don't understand that drawing that's on page 4 of 6.
The one that's just a little square?
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the house now on Google Earth to see if it's just a square flat roofed house. 'Cause yeah, it's strange. Or maybe that's just like a addition that has that, but they didn't draw the rest of the tile roof that they're not messing with.
right.
Yeah. Well, that's because it's,
It's a 112 pitch, so pretty flat. White marble or chips, whatever you want, granules.
This looks like actually like a townhouse or something. I mean, like a
11643
two-story duplex?
Northeast 11th Place. 11643. Is that the entire house, just one roof? You're looking.
No, because it looks like they've got a gabled roof. I think then they have like a small,
11643. Is this the little wood house that's got behind the fence?
no, I've never seen it before.
Right next door,
It's a-
Max, to the left? Is that the one thinking of?
I don't know, it's a two-story house
Sure.
or duplex, it looks like. Cause it looks like there's an entry on the second floor or something. I've never seen it before.
This is only in relation to the flat roof.
I think it's just flat on the side because the main roof is the tile roof. It looks like, or a concrete tile roof or something.
Okay, motion.
Motion to approve?
Because they're not doing the main roof. It's only for this,
Just the low sloping.
you know.
Yeah, they just didn't do all the rest.
Second.
All in favor say aye. 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 David Scarlett was. Okay. Griffin, 6I 11915 Griffin Boulevard. Installation French impact doors.
White frame, front door and side door.
Street facing side or the other?
They're a corner, so
It's on the,
That's so funny. Their name is Griffin and they live on.
Yeah,
Griffin.
yeah, they're my neighbor. Two houses down from me.
does this door face the side of the house?
One is their front, they have a corner lot.
Okay.
So one is a front door, the double one, and the side one is like a side off their garage or kitchen or something.
This is the corner house at 121st.
No, one.
No, 119.
Oh, and I do.
Two south of me.
Okay, on the north corner. Kind of like contemporary, more of a modern house,
No, on the south corner.
south corner. Okay, so it's
More
behind all the
traditional.
trees and
It's
everything.
right next to the house that's under construction. So there's my house, the house that's under construction. And right south of it. North side of 119th. Yeah. It's not modern looking. It's brand.
Well, I mean, but it's,
What it-
yeah, it's like a Weston house.
Yeah.
Basically.
Sorry.
That's what I meant by modern.
Say modern, I think of this.
It doesn't look like a Biscayne Park house. It looks like something that was put in like.
Actually, I
80s or
picture
something.
like these guys I call modern homes, but
More contemporary home, I should say. Let me rephrase that. Can I get a motion, please?
To approve?
second.
On favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, David Ed.
I think it was built in the 80s. So I don't know.
Are you saying I'm not modern?
Next would be Building J Ivanov, 11929 Northeast Sixth Avenue, interior renovation. I see a new driveway.
Well, that all says that all says it's under a separate permit on the first page.
New driveway under separate permit. Okay.
So, I mean, I don't really see.
Yeah, it's mainly a lot of like alterations to the elevations, right? They're like changing windows and doors and stuff.
What house is this?
It's like a modern.
It
home.
looks, but I mean, look at the existing rooms. Oh, it looks like a hotel in there. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what they're taking out. Right? It's all dotted.
Yeah, they're,
It's kind of,
They're making
the
it-
one on the right is a ceiling plan. The one on the left is the actual plan.
yeah. So they're like reducing the number of rooms in enlarging the master and a whole like master closet bathroom setup.
Yeah, I mean, okay, that's it. I couldn't believe that this house had so many bedrooms.
Motion approved. Kind of similar to, man,
It's like a ranch.
that nurse lady bought.
Is she?
I don't think she bought it.
Somebody bought it. It closed on Billy.
Well, I mean, the letter that went out was that they can't do a community residential home.
Okay, I just saw that it was closed and
So-
bought, so I was like, oh, okay, I thought that it was her.
The letter did go out, okay.
Okay, so
mean,
it's a lot of
somebody bought it,
exterior
but
doors
they're
and window
gonna make a
changes,
community
but
residential home.
pretty innocuous.
Yeah, well, it's just, from looking at what the layout was, it was already like similar to this. It's just that one side was just a line of bedroom.
I'll second David's motion to approve.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. David Ed? Zoller, Building K, 12004 Northeast Eighth Avenue, new swimming pool.
It meets all of the setback requirements.
What about lot coverage? 30, it's 20 feet, 10, 12 feet in the back. Is there lot coverage calculations? There it is, 40%, including the pool. Okay.
I would approve the only, or motion to approve, the only thing that I would do is you may want to send them a note too, saying that they don't have to make their pool equipment set in 10 feet by 10 feet, because they did that directly and they like indicated 10 feet by 10 feet, so that
Why-
the pool equipment can be in a setback.
So why would we suggest that?
No, I'm just saying, like,
do it.
just make a note, like, hey, if like, there's no rule that says that you have to have the pool equipment in 10 by 10. That's just what I
But it
would do as a
can't be up
precedent.
against, it can't go be up against the fence.
No, but it could be, what is it? Can it be with?
Why don't we just,
30 inches or
why don't we
whatever?
just, if they're willing to put it there, why don't we just
Yeah.
leave it alone?
That's why I'm saying motion to approve, but
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, Zoller again, installation new wood fence, 12004 Northeast Eighth Avenue.
So it's just a survey, I guess.
Where's it going?
Yeah, there's no drawing of the new fence, it's just a survey. I'm guessing they're replacing the existing chain link with a wood, but it's not necessarily specified here.
And like, how high is the fence? And where's it located?
well, they have a 6-foot gate that's at the front of the house on the left, but they don't indicate, or no, there is a 6-foot gate at the front on the right as well. Right in front of the concrete slab, you just can't really read it because the writing's in the concrete slab.
It does say on the permit app, replace chain link fence with wooden fence, so I believe they're,
And the
Place-
bottom, the bottom edge is all wood fence as well, so.
And the chain. I don't know, just,
I think
chain
this-
link fence looks like it's creeping out on, well, there's a 4-foot chain link fence. And a 6-foot wood fence, which is the neighbors, so they're putting a wood fence against a neighbor's wood fence?
we don't know, because we're guessing, because they
Yeah,
didn't
I,
clarify it on the plan, so
location and height
Motion to table, also color
and
and
paint,
material.
yeah.
Oh, no, it
Wood.
doesn't say wood fence?
Yeah, what style wood fence? There's a form that usually.
Well, also because they're doing this.
it's cool, so, yeah. So I'll second David's motion to table, pending in more information.
More info. Location, style,
Color.
color, height.
Also may want to point out that the gates now will need to be self-closing because of the pool.
Okay, so that was all in favor, say aye, aye, okay. All right, so we'll go. Which one is this? That's the first one, the swimming pool. New pool. All right, so we tabled Zoller 120. All right, so we've gone through our agenda. We'll come back to the construction ordinance. Let's go to the.
Just quick, do we know more about it? Because last,
So I read it. It literally is just, I mean, we could approve it really quick because it's so.
it's the same one we had last week, and we said, yeah, this sounds good, but why is it in front of us? Who's asking? Like, there was no context, right?
Yeah, they didn't, last time they just threw it at us and we didn't have it. And then I read it again. And really, it's just about having a fence around a,
You know, what's here sounds great. Don't disagree with it at all. Just last time we
We
Hunted
tabled it they
because
just-
we didn't know
we
what-
had no
where it
idea
came
we were
from.
looking at.
do we know now though where it came from? Who asked us to review this? What the story
I
is?
guess this is a commission thing that was, because I know they had something to do with fences around portalets because of the portalets that were in the middle of the.
Yeah.
The whatever it's called, the medians.
Okay. So are we voting on this to agree with these changes and push it to the commissioners or?
Yes. So basically, it looks like it's the fences shall be chain link around a temporary toilet.
Yeah.
And then they took out some things here about bonds, which that's not really us, but it's all struck through about bond requirements.
Yeah.
So the only thing that's changed in here is just adding language.
About damage, being responsible for
fence.
damage, public property.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
approve.
I recommend, I guess.
Yeah, motion to
Recommendation.
send it to the commissioner. Second.
David Ed, all in favor say aye, aye. Okay. No comments. All right, so next will be 7G, we'll continue our review of the changes to the land development code. So I did a little type up of kind of the changes that we talked about. And then we can continue on with the rest and also kind of, first of all, somebody listened to our thing and they said they could not hear me speak the entire time, which is odd because it is right here. So I'm gonna make sure I really speak into it.
About this part in particular, or they couldn't listen?
Well, just our entire discussion last time, I think the commissioners or somebody tried to listen to it and they couldn't hear. Which is very odd.
I mean,
so-
I was making all the best points anyways, so we didn't really have to hear from.
So if you look at this, we already had recommended that they add blood-based flood +1. So that was that. Then, and then under number of stories, I added here, what we recommended was, we talked about having accessory structures only having 1 story. And that would help with alleviate with the accessory structures on the back property lines, massing on the back property lines. So I added it as a note under table A, the attorney can do it, but it says accessory structure shall be limited to 1 story. And then
Wait,
this,
where's that note?
it's the second right there. It's the green is what was been added new. Okay, so one of the things that, and this is where I kind of added a little extra to talk about. One of the things that was commented on was these structures that are on the rear property line and invading the privacy of the neighbor behind them. I think Commissioner Gonzalez was very concerned about it. So a thought process was, why don't we change this rear setbacks on interior lots? So that they don't build all the way back to the back property line on the main structure only, not the accessory structure, the main structure. So I proposed and put at the top there, the definitions for lot interior and lot exterior. So that would be the corner lots. This would only apply to the interior lots, not the corner lots. And then
That wasn't added. Last week, we discussed the fact that the lot lines, interior side, those were unclear. So this is not about defining interior lot line.
well, that's already, that's already,
Yeah,
if
it's
you,
already- that's why I was at, that's already in the definitions. doesn't
Yeah,
it? So
it's
you-
already in the
adding a
definition.
Description about lot type.
Yes,
versus Corner lot versus a non-corner lot.
yes, basically, yeah.
Okay.
But are they going to clean up those definitions and remove
Well, if you look at,
not really redundancy, but
well, if you look at it, if they never really added, the thing is, they never added frontage to the definitions. They kept referring to frontage, but then the definitions, there's nothing. But if you look at our definitions for lot corner, hold on, let me just make sure I get this right. Yeah, on lot side, we already have in our code currently, a lot line separating a lot from a street is an exterior side lot line. And a side lot line separating a lot from a lot or lots is an interior side lot line. So we already have that defined.
Yeah,
So it's
That's what I
done.
thought you were trying to
Yeah,
redo and
no.
say why. You're defining a lot type.
I'm dividing a lot type. So this would go up underneath lot 2.2.43.
Understood.
So that was the intent there.
The only thing here is what happens with an alley lot. Is that going to cause confusion? Because it's still an interior lot. Or are you considering that a exterior lot if I'm a middle of a block, but I have an alley behind me?
But an alley's not a street.
Is it?
It's not. We've determined that 11th, 12th
Fine with it
Ave.
not being, but as long.
I'm just saying it's, we've already determined like what a lot, that lot, the alley that's over by 11th Place is an alley, and even though it's called a street, it's actually an alley. So the setbacks were that.
As long as
Now-
it's clear in the code that people don't say, oh, but that's a street, that's a street.
So if I'm reading this right and just applying math, if you have 100-foot long interior lot, you can only build on the middle 40 feet, you have 30 on the front, 30 on the back.
The primary structure. We're talking about it. It's an idea that has not been run through the board.
We don't get to change anything for the.
We don't change anything.
Yeah, that to me was just reading this, that was the only thing that I was thinking. It's like, okay, I can get that and understand that for a second floor, but feel like if 100-foot lot length isn't unnecessarily short or as far as what we have here, but only being able to build in 40 feet out of your envelope is. It would be very tight.
Okay, so then we want to, the
I think
the
that,
definition is at the top. So the second, so it would be under,
I think that 8, that 3-star, this is primary structures on interior lots to have 30-foot rear setbacks for second story. I think if you just add 4 second story to the end of that definition, then I think that's, I wasn't at that meeting and I wasn't listening to it, but.
no, but yeah,
From a biological perspective, I think that makes sense.
Ed, what are your thoughts? I mean, it is.
Second story, and I think it should be 20. I think 30 is.
No, it's a number that's thrown out there. So if we want to.
No, I know.
As a
and
board,
my view, I think it should be 20 and that's second story only.
so the first floor can go to 10, second story can go. But we're saying on these, what we're saying, and the rest of this is that the sides have to be 5. And the back has to be
Second story.
second story, yes. And the second story in the rear would be 20 feet.
I can live with that.
Yeah,
So is that gonna,
I think 20 is a good number because there's lots of lots that, in my example, was 100 foot. There's lots of lots that I see that are interior lots that are shorter distance than 100.
This might be kind of like a structural thing of how to put this in the code, but to me, having the asterisks and like little notes, it's gonna be very confusing to
okay,
find that little detail. I would like to see it in the table.
I
Maybe
mean, the
just-
table has notes right, has asterisks and notes right now, doesn't it?
but we also have, if you look at
Clean that up.
below, it says second story placement. We could take that and move it down as a item number 2 in second story placement.
But this is just kind of odd, but like you see all of these extra cells, if this is how it is, couldn't we just delete out these cells and write instead of the asterisk, write number of stories, 2, accessory structures shall be limited to 1
Yes,
story.
that's how I.
Just
was
write it right here, like
Yes.
none of these columns, like,
Well, I don't know why they came out that way. Hold on, let me just look.
Yeah, no,
The columns, if you look at the you know what? It doesn't, those columns should be filled out. I just copied and pasted. So there's
There is stuff in those columns.
each one of those columns has stuff in it. So, but if you wanted, we could, if we're in agreement, we could under B, instead of frontage placement, because that's the entire sentence became
second story.
second, it's all about second story. It has nothing to do with frontage because we eliminated the first floor, the second floor. You know, those crazy terms that were not necessary. So we could technically take what I tagged number 8 and move it down and make it number 2.
yes. And I think maybe we move 7 down there and make 7, 2, and 8, 3.
Well, but this is a reference to second story placement.
Well,
So,
yeah,
but we could,
just saying, I think that if we, second story placement, if there's a very clear number.
well, no, actually, you know what? It would need to go over to into the accessory structure part of the code. Because the accessory structure actually says accessory structure shall maintain the same setbacks as the primary. So we could eliminate this
The number.
completely.
Yeah, that just says accessory structures cannot be above 1 story.
Okay.
I think that's.
Accessory structure, yeah. Carlos, we will move it to the accessory structure and not have it in the chart. Because the accessory structure kind of limits it down.
Little confusing.
Right now, we're proposing 18 feet, 1 story,
Then you have to know to go to look to the accessory structure part.
but it already says that, and actually,
I feel like if you're gonna build an accessory structure, like the onus is on you to go and identify.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
You need to go and look.
at some point you,
It is on them, but it just, the harder you make it to find stuff, trust me. I'm in and out of zoning codes every single day, and the harder you make it for people to find stuff, it gets missed.
okay.
That's
But,
why
so,
should be consolidated together.
I feel like if you wanted to build an accessory structure, when I look at this stuff, I just control F for the most obvious thing first, of like garage door, and then.
But sometimes codes are not written that way and you miss stuff.
so right now, the code, the table, the way it is now, does not mention accessory structure. But then when we go to chapter 11, it's accessory structures, and that's where it defines the setbacks on them. So should we have in the table accessory structures?
Yeah.
It should be. So there should almost be another,
I mean, it should say the same thing as the other section on it.
and you don't think a little asterisk on the thing would work?
Saying it, the easier you make it, the better.
So you should say, so. So under maximum building height, base blah, 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 number of stories, primary structure should be 2.
Right, and then like the next line item, accessory structure. 1.
And then accessory structures will go right in there.
And then I guess there would be another line item underneath that would say number of feet.
For the setbacks, yeah.
Well, no, because right now it says
The
number of
setbacks are gonna
feet
go in.
30 for the 2-story part. So to make it consistent, then you would say accessory structure 1 story, number of feet 18.
No, because I think, no, because it's considered a structure. So I think it would be under where was it that we
Well,
talked
like you
about?
see how there's that thing that says number of feet 30? Right? What is that referencing that's directly underneath the number of stories too?
Maximum, that's the maximum number of, that's the maximum height of the 2 stories.
That's what I'm saying. So then you say, oh, number of stories 1 for accessory and then 18 feet, then it's very clear somebody can't build an infinite high 1 story.
So it's almost like it needs to have its own like column, like pull it out from underneath maximum building height and make it accessory structure, like separate of maximum, and then that would be, it would be in between those 2. You would just add another
Right, you could just have like a little sub.
category that's not related to,
And I think maybe you make a recommendation to repeat this in the accessory structure thing, because if I'm a good person that goes and looks and reads all the accessory structures thing, and this isn't in there,
Right, no, they
And
should
then-
be consistent.
then I might go off of the fact that it's not under the accessory structure part.
okay, so right now it says accessory structure shall not be be located in a required setback area unless otherwise allowed. So it does kind of reference back the chart, C, but I mean, it might be a little vague, I guess, but
Yeah, what is unless otherwise allowed?
that means, okay, so like sheds, carports, they're allowed to go 5 feet into the side setbacks. So. Or we could I'm sorry, it's actually accessory buildings. It says maintain the same setbacks as the principal building. So that would have to be changed to. Oh, no, hold on. The setback, it's just the stories shall be, we would just have to add another line on there saying accessory buildings would be 1 story.
Because you don't have to worry about the fact that we are now making the 20-foot setback for the second story. 'Cause that would be right.
Okay. But also the 11.21, mm. Okay. Now, as far as the second story placement, which was the primary structure on interior lots, we're just talking about interior lots. For the second story, it has to be set back because we have so many corner lots where they have no setbacks. So they're allowed to go up 2 stories on the back of their house. Okay, we're on agreement of that. It's only reference to interiors.
Right, the highlighted in red, does that mean we're
We're striking that. Yeah, the red is what has been proposed and we're striking it. Looking at number 1, buildings shall be orientated so that the front facade faces a primary or secondary street frontage. I mean, it does say that in our code.
Yeah, as long as it's facade and not entry, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Or I think doesn't need to be, you
right?
can get more creative with your door placement. But what we don't want is something facing the street that feels like it's the back of the building, you know, which we've had one applicant, I remember their elevation looked like a side facing the street, right?
okay. So now the second one is changing frontage placement to second story placement, because this is what this is all in this is all it's all about. It's a second story, and that's what we're dealing with all the time here. So let me see if I got the wording right. A maximum of 20% of the total interior side facing buildable area. Because we do have it does have a definition for buildable area already in our code. Of the second floor may be allowed to be placed on the interior side setback line to a maximum of 30 feet in length. That's what we discussed last time. The remaining 80% shall be set back a minimum of 5 feet.
So what is interior side? That's here.
So that's the interior side lot. So our,
You mean the lot interior, the 2.2 you just added?
No, interior side is basically your side property line that's not facing a street.
But so that just defined in,
yeah, so it's lot line side,
so
Yeah.
then that's why I'm asking.
a side lot.
Reading it like I'm a resident, shouldn't that interior side then be capitalized the same way that buildable area is? So that I know that I can go back and reference the glossary or definition.
Probably.
Okay.
Right.
So. So,
And then is interior side setback line, is that a defined already?
yes,
So then that should probably be, those 4 should be capitalized as well. That way you can, like, in that one sentence, I can literally go and look up 3 different definitions to make sure that I have a clear understanding of what's being asked. Because I can look up buildable area, interior side, and interior side.
yeah, we have lot line side and it defines it right there. It's just,
Yep.
a side lot line separating a lot from another lot or lots is an interior side lot line. Interior side,
This is setback line.
okay,
Yeah.
lot,
So instead of, yeah, it should be lot line. it's
lot line, sorry, lot line, okay.
Okay, you don't need to apologize.
No, I'm just, it's a little, trying to do my own personal job at work and do this too. You kind
How
of
dare you?
A maximum of, Dan, do you understand what we're talking? A maximum of 20% of the total interior side facing buildable area, meaning the area from front setback to rear setback. Building area, building frontage on the second floor may be allowed to be placed on the interior side lot line.
Yeah, interior. Yeah, so my only question is the green that's added afterwards to.
So the green is what I added.
Yeah, but that part to a maximum of 30 feet in length, like since it says 30 feet on the number of feet in the little grid in table A, do we need to have that part again in there? Because my only thought is that.
No, 30 foot in length.
No,
So
30
that's
yeah.
30 foot,
Oh,
30 foot in total length.
not in height.
Contemplating someone with. a
Yes.
bigger lot.
Somebody with like a
Yes.
200 foot lot.
Yeah, no, this is what we talked about last time.
Is what we talked about.
Not sleeping because my 6-month-old is sick.
Yeah.
So that was me confusing length and height.
And then the remaining 80% shall be stepped back 5 feet,
A minimum of 5 feet.
minimum of 5 feet.
Yep.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Here, like from a technical point of
Here.
view, it may be more than 80%. If you're
Here.
maxed out at 30, so that a little bit.
Here, I have another copy of it. It's a working sheet that we have in front. It's not. Here, David, he has his copy.
So even if all 5 didn't want it, that doesn't mean that we agree with them, right? So we're still putting forth what we think is the appropriate changes to the code, whether they agree with it or not, they'll vote on, right? We don't do their bidding. They asked us to,
They asked us to clean it up.
but they asked us to look at it and make our recommendation. Our recommendation isn't whatever you tell us is our recommendation. So
And there was no vote on it. And there was no vote on it, by the way. So. I still think the issue is that we have an issue with 2 stories on the lot lines. And this is probably the most important thing of this entire rewrite of this code. Because this is what we're dealing with every freaking meeting. So.
So what I was saying up before is it's more or less correct. I just like where we say the remaining 80% will be set back. In the event of a longer lot that is maxed out at 30 foot, it's actually more than 80% has to be set back.
Okay, so what do
I
you
don't
say?
know how you address that, because that gets very convoluted, but.
You could just say for the remaining.
That's what I'm wondering.
Second floor structure.
Remaining, buildable area must be set back 5 feet minimum, because
Yeah.
it could be 85, 88, 89, depending on someone's lot length, right?
I was thinking about that, but I was like, I'm just not gonna say anything, but I think that if you just say remaining area, 5 feet minimum.
The remaining buildable area
Yeah.
shall be set back a minimum of 5 feet.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
And we're good on 20-foot rear setback for second story.
Yes.
Okay.
Basically, everything else in red, you're saying scratch it.
It's,
Not
it's,
overly confusing and
it just,
word sandwich and
exactly.
word salad, whatever.
So now we're up to building massing. Now, this is just a copy and paste off of what's there. I just pulled it off so we could have something that's less confusing than all of the proposed language.
Why are we going back to frontage, Gage? Why aren't we sticking to interior side lot line?
What, hold on.
Item 2 under opening locations that you have in red. You crossed off walls, but left frontage.
Oh, so. Hold on.
That should have green.
Or the 1 foot of side setback for each 2 feet? Is that what you're saying?
Item E2. The one that's frontage walls where you made it red but crossed off walls.
That's actually, well, first of all, we haven't gotten all the way down there yet,
Oh, sorry.
but that's the way it is written. That's the way it's written right now. I didn't
Your edit.
change it.
Oh, okay.
That's nothing this is the way that it's been written by the attorney. So building massing volumes for habitable use of the second floor shall prioritize the placement within the first 2/3 depth of the buildable area. Is that good still? I mean, is that confusing? Because that seemed like there was a lot of people that were kind of like a little confused about that.
It's been lukewarm to that requirement.
So because we now have the 20 foot, or what is it, 30 foot in length?
Yeah.
Do we want to maybe nix that? Make it simpler?
My opinion would be get rid of that.
I don't even understand what that means at all.
It just means that they're trying to say, if you,
Push it towards the front 2/3, not to the rear, but I think it's, again, getting too prescriptive.
Yeah, I agree.
it's, I think my takeaway was this was so wordy that everybody was confused about it. So if we just say, so Building massing, C, we're gonna recommend removal. Okay. D, articulation. I kind of think this is actually an important thing. Wall plane shall be designed in such a manner as to provide movement and articulation to prevent extensive blank wall.
I mean, we could have used that in the first discussion that we had today of like, hey, you have a giant blank wall from the top of this window up 15 feet.
Yeah, exactly. So we're good with, so that'll actually get moved up, whatever, we'll let the attorney. Opening location, building openings to include doors and windows may be allowed on the first floor on all facades. Again, why does this even on there?
Exactly. Do we need to state that? I mean, to state what we're restricting.
know.
That just seems like, thanks for the obvious. So
And then windows are permitted within the front 1/3 depth of the buildable. So for that, number one, we'll scratch.
ends up scratching the rest of this too, right? The whole windows on the first third.
But what about the clear story?
No, I'm just saying item, oh, sorry, because that's part of item 2.
So one, we don't care about front door, first floor windows or doors. I mean, you can put them on any wall you want. I mean, that's the first floor.
But the
So-
problem is number 2 doesn't say anywhere for the second floor. Like,
Well, that's,
windows are permitted within the front 1/3 depth of buildable area,
Yeah,
while only
yeah,
clear
it's
story
not
windows are
windows.
permitted within the rear 2/3. That means everything that we've ever approved. is
Yeah, yeah,
wrong.
it's missing a reference to the second floor. This is a second floor issue.
so what if, look at number 3, all portions of the building on the second floor within the rear 2/3 depth of the buildable area shall be designed in such a manner as to impede visibility into abutting properties. So,
I don't think that 2 needs to exist.
no, I'm just saying, I'm wondering if we should take out parts of, take the clear story windows by using clear story windows or frosted
Because
windows.
Also, again, the idea is impede visibility or invasion of privacy. That leaves it open because sometimes clear stories don't work because you need the egress requirements, so it has to be frosted. So why get into saying how? The issue is we don't want you staring down to your neighbor's yard,
Yeah, and it gives us enough purview. That's why I was just saying, if we just delete 2 altogether.
Yeah.
I see no issue with 3.
Yeah.
And
3
3
covers what 2 is attempting to cover.
while accidentally making every house in Biscayne Park illegal.
So number 2 out.
It's gone.
That would be my take. Yep.
So we're just gonna eliminate the thing about clear stories, but then and in the back part where it gives us the teeth to say, hey, you can't have this picture window overlooking your neighbor's pool. All portions of the building on the second floor within the rear 2/3. Are we good with that? Rear 2/3?
Personally,
It says all portions of the building. It doesn't say anything about windows.
in general, right? Because it's balconies where we put them, have screens. So this covers all of that, right? Second floor privacy. Design your house in a manner that somehow respects the privacy of your neighbor. So it's the windows, it's the balconies, it's covers all of these things.
And by
So that would eliminate number 4 then.
Well, I think 4 is okay because it's very specific about balconies not being on the side. That's okay.
But it just, well, if you look what the changes that I proposed,
It does duplicate it a little bit, but
but this is the portions of the building on the second floor with the rear view 2 the building area should be designed in such a manner as to impede visibility into the building properties. Okay.
you could leave 3 and then you could get rid of the green that you added in 4. This is kind of
Well,
covered.
the
by-
only thing
by
that
3.
4 is accidentally kind of doing and saying is it's like you build an L and then have the balcony on the inside of yours facing over your own pool if it's too high and also with then able to go into the neighbors
Yeah, but usually we respect that if it's facing
into your back.
into your own backyard, at some point, 20, 30, 40 feet away. Can't solve everything, right?
Yeah. I think 3 is the most important part out of all this thing, and if you want to get rid of the additions to, or if you want to get rid of 4, you can, because it's the strength of 3, but I don't have any problem with the deletions and
All-
additions to 4.
All portions of the building on the second floor within the rear 2/3 depth of the buildable area shall be designed in such a manner as to impede visibility into abutting property. I
Yeah.
think that gives us enough teeth for clear store window,
Is there any-
What that
those balconies, things like.
that means is that realistically, in any of these situations, if let's say you're dealing with a 30-foot, which is probably on the shorter side, but you have a 30-foot setback plus then you're talking about if you're breaking things into thirds, minimum 40 feet, and then everything beyond basically 40 feet, you're realistically onto somebody's side yard or backyard, right? So I think that it's totally fine, and I don't see an unintended consequence that could come from.
I just want to make, yeah, I agree. I just want to make sure we have enough, it gives us enough teeth, because we're not actually now saying clear store windows. We're not actually saying balconies. We're
You
saying,
could say, hey, this isn't impeded. This is an unimpeded view into.
and it gives us the teeth, because we can say, hey, look at code number, blah, 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 number 3. You can't have that balcony facing your neighbor's pool. You can't have that picture window.
Any reason, curiosity, between 3 and 5? We like.
Well, that's
change
roof
the
decks.
language?
Roof
No, no,
decks is,
Roof decks, but one we say in such a manner as to impede visibility into, and the other one says in such a manner that does not compromise privacy, and they're both trying to achieve the same thing. Why are we choosing different verbiage?
I think that's just the way we can clean that up. Hold on, let me
Yeah, I
see.
feel like it's just pick one verbiage and use it for both, because they're intending the same idea, right?
So it should say, roof deck shall be designed in such a manner that impede visibility into abutting properties.
Yeah, just use them both. It feels like a consistent idea that we're trying to hammer home with these.
Because compromise the privacy is a little bit more.
What does that mean, right? But impede visibility is pretty clear. Have you done that? No.
Okay, so we're gonna strike number 4 about balconies. Because number 3 covers that. We're all in agreement of that.
Are we keeping rear 2/3 in 3?
Yes.
Because again, in pretty much no circumstances that going to create a problem for somebody that's trying to do something in the front 40 feet of their lot line, is probably as far back as any house would be.
Yeah, as long as we're like, realize, now the owner and the architect have to add a dimension, say 2/3, not that it's the end of the world, but it's another little thing they have to address in their plans, and we have to police, right?
Okay, so we addressed roof decks, I think that's a very important thing, because we do have people putting roof decks on top of the 2-story houses.
Yep.
Privacy still, we set back the second story, which is something that we deal with all the time, privacy and second stories. So we're, it's making this a lot less descriptive, and it's giving us the opportunity, us the language we need to tell people like that, no, you can't do that. Okay, so we're good on orientation. And then, so this is, again, this is something that was never, the going to 10.3 about exterior doors and window design is something that we always kind of just had as a board rule, and it got blown into this entire thing. And I think it's kind of maybe gone overboard, and I'm open to suggestions of what your thoughts on that are. Do we just maybe just keep A and that's it?
I'm fine with the whole thing. I don't think it's fine. It's a lot of language to say the same thing, but clear enough. I don't find it confusing.
I think what happened is people,
One personally who kept advocating for something, right? Because I feel like hasn't happened in a little while, but it happened quite often that people release their windows and then get to here and find out they can't do something, and they've already got them in production, and I don't like that. So at least here, you didn't read the code, I can't help you. It's there clear as day versus something that we just enforce.
I have a feeling
Or-
if we weren't as exclusive, we probably would get slapped with more. That's one of those things that people are like, oh, it's cheaper for me to pay a lawyer for a few hours to see if this game park okay. And it's
Well-
like, if any attorney that reads this is like, dude.
You're saying for the person who released their windows and. they're
Yeah,
not-
who's like, oh, I just.
But all we'd have to-
40 grand on windows and they're gonna make me cancel 30 of that.
Yeah,
I'll
but
pay $5 grand for a lawyer to try and fight me through. The lawyer reads this, they're gonna be like, dude, you didn't read the code.
true,
Whereas if
but
you
true,
delete a
but
bunch of
but
that-
any lawyer would go, did you get a permit? You actually bought your windows before you got a permit? So you're kind of.
Well, but
I don't need an attorney for that. I'll say, I don't need a permit to purchase material. I need a permit to install them in my home. So I can order them, and if your code doesn't say that I have to have this, whatever, where are you making this up from? Where are you getting this from? No, I just spent $50,000 to release windows. I don't need a permit to buy them. I need a permit to put them in. So I personally am in favor of having something here that now no one gets screwed, or if they get screwed, it was by virtue of not reading the code, and that's a different story.
Okay, so I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying that it seemed like it grew into this
It-
huge thing.
Did, because that's what happens when you send anything that could be done with a scalpel to the board, it gets done with a sledgehammer, but that doesn't bother me, right? I think if we-
So-
Done with 10.
So, but I'm just saying, so the question that came back to me was, what about other style windows, like awnings and stuff?
Shut that conversation down. Like, this covers 100% of any window permit that I've ever seen, and you've been here a lot longer, and I'm sure it covers 100% of every window permit that's ever come to you, right?
Okay,
If we start talking about jalousies and glass block and all this stuff, that doesn't happen.
okay. So I'm gonna open this up to Dan, because I'm sure he has an opposing view to it. So do you have an idea? Do you have something that you want to bring into this?
I agree with that as well, right? That saying that it has to have an NOA is gonna kind of cover that it's not, jalousie windows anymore, right? So that material thing didn't.
Just take out, shall be constructed of aluminum wood and just say exterior windows and doors shall have product approval.
Yeah, which it has here, right? So
So we're all agreeing. Let's take out be constructed of aluminum and wood,
Or would.
and just have shall have received product control approval. It's pretty much, these are all the colors we've ever really had.
yeah. I mean,
And this is only reference to windows. It doesn't say doors, nothing to do with your front door.
I just want to be clear, for your sake, we didn't add all this, right? We added the first two, the commissioners started loading it up with all the other stuff that wasn't necessary, right? So
So what do we thought? Colors.
again, all those permits come before us. We have that time to say, we're not gonna approve your
I never
fluorescent
spilled
pink
it.
windows. I also think it's a non-issue. Those are the windows that, but whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
Again, in your 20 years, I'm sure you've never seen a window permit that wasn't white, silver,
Pretty much.
bronze, because that's all that gets made and that's all that gets paid for, and nobody in Biscayne Park is getting titanium windows. But
What if somebody comes in and they have all red windows? Is that something that we then can go back to Harmonious and say, I don't think your red windows on your, whatever.
well, it's at that point, it's just like a paint application, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, wouldn't that just be
Evaluate-
an application for
Yeah.
trim? It's like, oh,
The same
sorry,
way,
you can't
you
make
want
a
to prove that
magenta
color,
garage
that color is not harmonious. fine with that, or I'm fine with striking it altogether, because I know every window that's ever gonna come through here will be one of those three anyways, and so. And if it's not, for some sudden reason, we'll evaluate it at that point.
All permits must be done by somebody with 2 legs or more or less.
For me, I just wanted the language about the consistency, because that's what we're enforcing through historical precedent, not from the code, and that's what people get screwed on. That's all. I
So remove the color part, just strike the entire thing? You agree? Agree?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
So E is out. So we're gonna leave everything else except take out the type of material, just as long as that's product approval.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Okay, they're gonna get rid of all these stupid diagrams that just confused everybody. Roof material, the only thing that was a change in the roof material, I think, was. It's just, they took out that it was a verbiage thing, asphalt shingles or metal may be used. It should be asphalt shingles may be used. And then they tightened up what it required the requirements for getting an exception to the rule. So you have to have, all those things that we came up with, so. The no variances is the entire roof code. And it's. Mhm. That's low slope. So that's a low slope roof, which is allowed in our code. It just, what's happened is that we have people like, they literally bring in like engineer letters from India. All it says is an engineer. It doesn't say they have to be Florida licensed, so we're just making it so that it's. Sure. I mean, if you wanted to say. If it's,
I mean, that's not the only requirement now, so it's like, oh yeah, if within within the folio records, all requirements are previously met, like they don't need to get them updated. I don't know. I can't.
no, it's, I'm just trying to think of how we would write that in.
Well, I think one of the most important things is that we wanted the engineer to be present at our meeting. That's
Yeah.
that's the fourth point. So if it's a memo to the file, how are we gonna have an engineer present at our meeting?
I guess what he's suggesting is grandfathering in their previous engineer's letter and not asking them to meet any current requirements, because again, it is what his point is, if you paid for an engineer 20 years ago to make us pay for another, make that person pay for another one, just have them come stand here.
Correct me if I'm wrong, have like, I don't, but have like materials in the math and the calculus.
I would think the opposite. I think if anything, it's gotten worse, right? Like the requirements for wind loads and all that have only increased. So like the evaluation of can that structure support a heavier load is probably gonna be like even worse of a scenario than it was 25 years ago.
Like, oh,
It's even less, yes, even less compliant with, I would think.
So I mean, but I'm just saying we can make a number 5 saying approved engineer letters already permitted shall be valid,
Considered?
considered, or
I don't know how you write that one. I get his point. I'm not
I
sure.
mean, maybe we see an engineer's letter from a file that we just flat out think is fraudulent.
That's true. One of the Indian letters comes up 20 years from now that we thought was a mistake in the first place, and now all of a sudden
Just letting
it's
it continue.
just keeps on
We,
continuing.
we memorialize the problem.
It's exactly the opposite of what we want to do.
Nope.
Yes.
That's part of what we're
That's
doing.
the
now.
problem is it doesn't
Before it
say,
was a one-page letter with no backup.
all I have to say is, I'm an engineer. It doesn't, it can't do
That
it.
he's inspected it.
Yeah,
personally.
it's the equivalent of how you, for a long time, you used to just be able to pay $50 online to get a letter saying that your animal was a therapy animal and so could fly on visits for free. But now you can't do that.
So leave it as is. I think it's, I mean, we've already debated this and we're.
Yeah, I think leave it as it is because the biggest thing is like, hey, if we're going through this hassle, we don't want, what we're doing is we've now crystallized every letter that we've ever approved.
Good point. Okay, and then the non-conforming structure part, I mean, I think that's. The gist of that is basically, I think this was all written by the attorney too. Sure.
In the current code, not what they're proposing.
There's a lot of them. Yeah, there's a lot of under.
Well, they get a variance.
It's the they have to get a variance. But it's also the tear down part too. Is if they keep the house that's there, they don't have to come into compliance.
There's a variance process under any under that circumstance, right? It's just not by right, they could build on it, but with variance, they could.
75 feet.
Because it's a non-conforming lot, correct? But anyways, isn't that what they're proposing changing though? They're getting rid of that, right? So
Can build back.
you can build without a variance now. Is that correct? That's what they're.
It's in the same footprint, I believe, is what. You can build back, but it's gotta be in the same place.
2.3. Ten point two point two. So what I think that what that is saying that is. So if you have a non-conforming lot, you can build on it, but you have to maintain the 50% lot coverage, 10-foot setbacks, 30-foot setbacks. Front, it's saying
Why with all the other
you
rules?
have to apply for all the other ones, but not lot size. It says a non-conforming lot. So it's saying right there, it's saying a lot that's non-conforming. So it's not 8,500, it's not 75 feet, whatever. Shall not be a buildable site unless the proposed structure is constructed in accordance with the regulations contained in table A. But then if it doesn't have 75 feet, then it becomes a non-conforming lot.
I mean, I get both your points. I think
Yeah.
the intent is that it's, like you said, you need to comply with everything else. But yes, it's a little confusing that it's telling you to comply with a chart that the very first line of it tells you that it's. Yeah, it could be cleaned up.
So
Lot size,
It could be,
right?
that could be cleaned up. I think.
oh, could it be a non-conforming lot that does not have the required frontage and square footage? Frontage and square and size. Does not have. But it has to meet all the other regulations.
Yeah, but by saying must meet everything in table A, it doesn't help. It has to say table A excluding lot size and frontage, right? 'Cause-
Right.
So you're saying, instead of saying a non-conforming lot that does not have frontage and size,
You can leave that out. You just say.
it
must
should
conform
say,
to all other aspects of table A, the exception of lot size and.
okay. So it's either in the frontage or it's in the front or the back of that same sentence. Okay.
Okay, the attorneys decide what the cleanest way to do it is.
Does that clear that up, Dan?
Yeah.
Because that's the only two the only two things that I see that was an issue is the width and and the size.
Well, but they're not, but, yeah, they're not saying that. They're not saying you can build back exactly what was there. They're
Well-
saying you can build something on it, but now you're gonna have to set it back 10 feet or whatever, you have to meet. So the old house that was on there could have also been non-conforming in terms of setback, not just lot size. So they're not gonna let you recreate the non-conforming setbacks. They're just gonna allow you to use that piece of property.
Unless the house was blown over by a hurricane, then you could, it does say in here, natural disaster hurricane, that you could rebuild it with all those non-conforming parts. That was the other part that was part of this.
I think it's fair.
Huh?
I agree.
So if your house blew over, it was all the with what was it on the other side of the state? Hurricane, the one that just happened.
Sorry, then what is the scenario under which the previous discussion,
Developer buys a house that's non-conforming.
so we're just telling them, don't worry about it, you don't have to worry about conforming lots anymore?
What do you mean?
I thought we were talking about in some natural disaster.
So right now, the way it's written is that every time somebody has a non-conforming lot, we have to go and get a variance. Okay,
But we're just,
we're basically punting that and saying that you don't need a variance anymore, but you have to meet all the other things, all the other stuff. So it's basically making all the non-conforming lots conforming.
yeah, so then just take out minimum lot size out of the chart. I mean, that's what you're doing. Saying we don't have minimum. lot.
But then we might have somebody come in and say, I'm gonna take 6,000 square foot lots and make it 3,000 square foot lots.
Well, who is driving the need to get rid of that part of the code?
Well, I just
I
think,
thought it had to do with natural disasters and giving people the right to have value in the property they own before they blew their house down. Mhm. And we're worried about the developer's feelings. Go, we'll do it.
but I also think there was I think there was another argument, in fact, is like the house on 119th Street, the lot. We are now the way our code is currently written is we're actually telling people that they cannot build anything on their properties. So we're actually taking away property rights by people, by not letting them, by saying you can't build anything. You're taking away person's right to develop their property.
Okay, but that's to the current owner. This is to anyone. This is like, and sell it now, a new developer can knock it down like.
But what else? So we get a new building that's now smaller.
So we're all in defense of that, but then what is the point of minimum lot sizes? Because everyone can say, oh, you're screwing the value. Why can't I subdivide my lot 3 times?
Because then that,
Take more
that,
out.
that changes our, that goes into the entire density and all those other questions of like.
Yeah.
Plotted, it was plotted that way. It's just having minimum lot sizes is a very important thing. It's just that we're trying to, we have a whole bunch of, yeah.
But then why not revise that? Why not say that it's a minimum lot size in that area is 6,000?
But it's not that easy because we have, those lots are spread out amongst all of our districts. So how do we? I don't want to increase density in our village. I just want to make it so.
Neither do I, but just.
If
saying, oh,
you
don't worry about it.
non-conforming lots that are there, we should be able to let people develop them.
Saying 75 foot is minimum. Over any new lots. 75.
There's one that's got the construction fence around right up here on northeast. It's 114. Could be 112.
Can't make 75.
Northeast.